Gary, how tough has the past few weeks been on you? You're not short of grabbing a headline at the moment.
Yeah, look, it was a tough week last week. There's no doubt about that. Coming off two not so great performances, and obviously it wasn't my best game against GWS either. But that's I guess that's all part of the industry we're in. You have your ups, you have your downs, and for me the focus was just going out there and making sure that we were doing everything we needed to be doing during the week to give ourselves the best opportunity of winning against Hawthorn. I thought the boys trained really well. We took that into the game, and it was great to come away with a win. And I think, for our group, that confidence and that belief from that game, hopefully it's the start of many more wins.
I guess the level of backlash you've received, particularly from Melbourne media, how much is that as a kick in the guts when you've given so much to the sport?
Yeah, look, I won't lie. I mean, there was a couple of articles that I'd heard about, that I guess the biggest thing is when you know that they don't necessarily, whoever's written those articles don't have all the facts, and people are being misinformed, that can be a bit disappointing. But at the same time, people are welcome to their opinions, and that's the industry we're in. But it's not something that I let affect me too much. I know that I just need to focus on the things that I can control, and that's turning up every single day, improving myself as a footballer, and I know the type of person that, I'm striving to be every single day, and that's really all I worry about.
There was a lot of noise on coming from the grandstands around the ground on the night. You must have been encouraged by that, the support you were getting from the fans.
Yeah, fans are always great. We haven't played finals football in 6 years, and they've turned up each week, supported us, and I think for us now, we need to be able to give back and win football games and play finals football. I said from the start that I was up here to win a premiership, and probably a little bit behind in where I was hoping we would be in terms of development, but at the same time, it's exciting. I think we showed on the weekend that our brand of football, if we play our brand of football for 4 quarters, we can compete with anyone, and that's a challenge now to be consistent. Week in, week out, make sure that we show up and we give a contest.
You had good stats on the weekend too.
It's good to get my hands on the ball. Yeah, didn't start so well. I had a tag early. We tried a few different things. I actually felt it was destructuring them a little bit, and they went away from that in the second half, and I was able to get my hands on the ball, so that was nice.
There's been a few races from us last round. Do you think there's been, in your 15, 16 years you've been playing, do you think there's been more in the last few years, or is it just the coverage of these types of things that have gotten a bit better?
I actually haven't heard of what was said.
There was a banana thrown in the Adelaide game on the weekend.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I probably can't comment on that. As I said, I haven't really heard of what was said. I know personally, that I haven't heard anything out there. But yeah, that's really all I could probably say on that.
Gary, just on your own week last week, there was a fair bit of criticism that you did the interview with the Footy Show, like the paid interview there, rather than maybe doing something like this. I guess what's your response to that, and would you change anything from last week in that regard?
I don't think so. A lot of people probably don't know, but the Footy Show actually approached me on the Friday before the GWS game and asked if I'd come on the following week, and we said, look, we'll speak to you Monday about it. Obviously we didn't put in the best performance against GWS, and I felt that was a good platform to come out and I guess just talk about what happened in the last off season, and yeah, I mean I wouldn't change anything at the end of the day. As I said before, everyone can have their opinion, but I felt it was the right platform to do that, and yeah, leave it at that.
A lot of the analysis in that interview was that you said you were committed to this year at the SUNS, but next year it seemed to come down to either retiring or going home. Is that a fair assessment of what you said last week?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't know what 2018 looks like for me, because as I mentioned on the football show, for personal reasons, family reasons, and I've been in the game a long time. I've been in the game 16 years, and you know, I just need to work out, you know, where everything's kind of sitting in my life at that time. I wanted to be open and honest, as I have been from the start when I asked for the trade at the end of last football season. And I felt that I did that. I communicated that to everyone out there, and that was the main reason why I went on the footy show. So nothing's changed. I'm focused on this year and you know, hopefully helping our club play some finals football, and then I'll sit down with the club at the end of the year and we'll work out what the next step is.
Is the personal stuff the only factor? Like, is there a way that, is there something that can happen at the club, like would playing finals football make a difference, or is it all just that personal issue?
Yeah, that's the main reason, without a doubt. Yeah.
Gary, sorry, they've spoken about retirement as well, but retirement or no retirement, have you thought about life post-football anyway? Has that ever been on your mind?
Yeah, plenty.
What do you do?
Look, I think we all understand as footballers it doesn't last forever. You know, I think the average career is 4 years, and you know, that's something that I think about at the end of every footy season. You know, you're only one serious injury away from having to retire, and I know that's not necessarily the best way to think about it, but you know, I've got some other things that I'm super passionate about in my life. You know, I want to spend, you know, some more time with my family. You know, they're probably not things I'm going to go into right now, but I've definitely got some things ready to go for when I do retire. Yeah.
So, Gaz, is there any scenario where you'll be playing here next year?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, if we can, you know, if we can work through some of the things that are going on off field, you know, I don't know what that looks like, and you know, it's not something that I want to open up about. You know, in this type of setting, but if we can work through that, I'm, you know, really enjoying myself up here. As I said, you know, I think it shows on the weekend that we play a good brand of football. If we can play like that every week, then we're going to be a very competitive side. So there's that side of it, there's the other side of it, but it's not something I don't want to think too long term. I just really want to focus on this year and getting out and playing some good footy.
How important was that win? Do you think it's a defining moment for the club?
Hopefully. I mean, I think the way we played on the weekend is the way we've trained all pre-season, and I think we showed patches of that in the pre-season games. You know, the way we attacked the ball. You know, I think the three biggest areas that we improved on the weekend that we didn't do so great against GWS was winning the contested ball. You know, the way we put pressure on the opposition, and you know, we outnumbered at contests, and we've spoken about that all pre-season. That didn't happen against GWS, and it did on the weekend, and you know, hopefully the whole group can walk away from that and believe that, you know, if we're more consistent in those three areas, that it's going to give us a huge chance of winning every game.
Ryan said last week that he's seen with this group that it's really important to have that intensity and everything in training, because the group really reflects how they play on the weekend in training. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Without a doubt, it all starts on the training track. You know, and that was the first thing we spoke about Monday, that we've achieved nothing. We've won one game of football, and we need to make sure that we back up this week against Carlton, and that starts on the training track.
Guys, 100 games this weekend. I know you said that you haven't had the final success, the premiership that you came here for, but you won a Brownlow here and you played, I think, the best football of your career at this club, not Geelong. Is that because you were just hitting your peak at that time, or was it because the extra responsibility playing amongst? What do you think? Do you think that period of 2013 and half of 14 was the peak of your career?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to measure. Obviously, you know, had a lot of team success down at Geelong. Haven't had that here, but you know, there's been plenty of challenges. You know, obviously, first got here, a lot of 17, 18-year-old kids that have moved away from home. That's a challenge in itself of you know, helping the guys settle in. You know, helping unite the group through the first couple of years, and just, I guess, teaching the younger boys also, you know, what it takes to be a professional footballer. And then obviously there's the other side of developing them on the training track, you know, helping them to improve the basics of football, learning running patterns, you know, how to position themselves, how to use their body, all those kind of things. So I think in the time that I've been here, I've grown a lot as a person. You know, I think at Geelong, I played under so many great leaders there that, you know, I guess you just had that support around you. I probably didn't have that early days, but the boys have been fantastic. We're the core of the group's now 23, 24. You know, obviously Tommy Lynch and Maisie doing a fantastic job, you know, leading this football club. And, But yeah, I guess to answer your question, I feel, it's probably been more challenging up here. There's no doubt about that. And, there's been more that I've had to focus on rather than just playing football. But I felt before the shoulder injury, I was playing consistent football, and that's what it was about for me. I think the true sign of a champion is someone that can play good football over a long period of time, not just 1 or 2 years. And that's why I come in here every day to improve and get something out of every training session.
You mentioned the tag on the weekend. David Swallow stepped off the line repeatedly to block for you, to try and get Langford, block his run.
Yeah.
Something that hasn't happened for you in 7 years up here. Can you talk to me about playing football with him and what he brings to the side and what he brings to your game? Because he was like a bodyguard for half a game of footy out there.
Yeah, he actually said to me, Gaz, I'll come in and put a block on for you because it frees me up.
Yeah.
And he found himself getting a lot of football. He was fantastic all day, as were all my teammates. At the end of the day, it's a team game, and the boys wanted to free me up to get the ball in my hands. But then at the same time, as I mentioned before, I felt like it destructured them a little bit. I'd step out of a stoppage at time, and our wingman would step in, which would give us an extra number around the ball. And David had been talking all through the week. He said, mate, look, I've got your back. If you are to get tagged, I'll be putting blocks on for you all day. And I think that's the sign of a good team when we're all we're going out of our way, to help our teammates. And that probably showed on the weekend as well. We had a focus of team spirit and making sure that, every little thing, whether it was a tackle, whether it was a spoil, a teammate was on the ground picking him up, all those little things that are, create that team spirit is very contagious through the team. That if you're doing that, then it doesn't matter if you're down by 3 or 4 goals, that you're always a chance to get back in the game.
What does it mean to play 100 games for the Suns? And looking back on the weekend, in those 99 games you've played so far, was that the best win you feel like the club's had?
I'd be one of them, just because of what had happened over the previous 2 weeks. I think, as I mentioned before, I think confidence and belief is a big thing in a group. And when you go down by 100 points, it can be tough at times to really get the group up. But we stuck together during the week. As I mentioned before, also we trained very well, and I think to bounce back like that was a fantastic effort. But that's only a start. That's only one win.
So what does it mean to play to reach that sort of 100 games?
Yeah, don't really know, to be honest. I mean, I think I'm just so blessed to be doing what I dreamt of doing as a young kid, and that's playing at the top level. I've played 290 odd games, I think. I can still remember back to when I first started, and I would have been happy just playing one senior game. It would have, at least I could have, I would have been able to say I've played at the top level. And I look back now, and I've been in the game 16 years. I've got to play 100 games for this great football club, and it's. I think it's something that I'll enjoy a little bit more after the game, and hopefully after a win as well.
Gary, when will we know what you're doing next year?
You will know at the end of the season. That, as I mentioned, that's something that at the end of the season, I'll sit down with the football club and work out what the next step's going to be. So,
all right, because obviously it's the personal issue. So, is there a chance that personal issue will be resolved earlier? No. Yeah, I mean, it's not something that I'm necessarily going to talk about. That's something that we'll talk about internally. The club's been super supportive through this whole time, and I don't want it to be a distraction to anyone else around the football club. So, we'll continue to work through things, and we'll have that talk at the end of the year.
Gary, I'm assuming you would have seen maybe Cooper Crock's press conference last week where he announced he was going down to Sydney. Doesn't necessarily happen a lot with the big names in AFL, partly because of the rules and that kind of stuff. I know you don't want to get into it for personal reasons, but do you think AFL is ready or needed to have that same kind of, I guess, to the ruling, or have that ability for players to come out and say that, and how do you think it would be perceived? Yeah,
I haven't seen the press conference. I've obviously heard about the decision that he's made, but I don't really know. It's not something that I've really thought about too much. I think. Obviously they do things a little bit differently. They've been doing it for a long time, but yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm pretty happy with the way the AFL structured things up, and that's really all I've got to say on that.
The amount of times we've asked you questions and you've said, I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Do you deliberately ignore media because or do you not own a TV, or are you just not interested, or can you give us some insight? Because I believe you when you say it, half the time you don't know what we're talking about when we ask you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's not that I'm not interested. I think it's more, you know, with any downtime I've got, you know, I want to spend time with family. I don't watch a lot of TV, to be honest with you. I was telling Shawnee earlier that I actually got rid of social media, you know, after the GWS game, just because, you know, it's not one of those things. You know, I don't want to be looking into things too much. You know, at the end of the day, I can only focus on the things that I can control. So that's basically why I don't read into it. In my downtime, I want to do, you know, spend that time on things that I'm passionate about, and also spend quality time with family and with my wife as well.
Gary, can I just ask, I know with your personal issues, everyone's got personal issues, and the media is the last place you want to talk about them. Do you think there will come a time though where you might talk about what's going on in your life, I don't know, to help others in similar situations? Or?
I can give you an answer on that at the end of the year.
Thank you very much.
You're right, guys.